Good evening, everybody. Hello, I'm Mr. Ron, and I'm going to be reading you the special 12 Days of Christmas in Louisiana. Now, this one is a little bit long because there's notes on each page, okay? And here we have the United States with Louisiana all lit up down here. 12 Days of Christmas in Louisiana by Jean Cassilis. Here's the first page here. It says, Dear Paul, surprise, I'm sending you a ticket to come visit for the 12 Days of Christmas. This is a special time in Louisiana. Christmas doesn't really end until Twelfth Night, January 6th here in New Orleans. That's when Dad and I always take down the tree. And Twelfth Night is the start of Carnival with really fun parades and costumes. This is my favorite time of the year with Christmas lights sparkling in the streets at night and decorations everywhere. And even though it's winter, there's still lots of pretty flowers, especially pansies in purple, gold, and green, the colors of Mardi Gras. Dad and I have a lot of fun things planned for when you get here, and some surprises too. I think you're going to have a great time. See you soon, your cousin, Rosalie. And there's everybody right there getting ready on the plane. December 26th. Dear Mom and Dad, hello from Louisiana. Lots of people here are celebrating the first day of Christmas. Rosalie says the fun is just beginning. This morning, Uncle Joe drove us across the longest highway over water in the world. The Causeway Bridge is 24 miles long and goes right across Lake Pontchartrain. When we get to the other side, we explore the Tchefuncte River. I saw my first bald cypress tree. And did you know it's the Louisiana state tree? Bald cypresses are funny looking because they have knees, lots of pointy, knobby parts that stick up out of the ground in the water. Rosalie says the trees breathe through their knees. We also saw a bunch of pelicans. The brown pelican is the official state bird. Uncle Joe recited this funny poem. A wonderful bird is the pelican. Its beak can hold more than its belly can. Hard to believe, but Rosalie swears it's true. A pelican's beak can hold almost 3 gallons of fish. Love, Paul. So on the first day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me a pelican in a cypress tree. And there we see the pelican, cypress tree, and the little knees down here too. December 27th. Dear Mom and Dad, today we went to the special swamp exhibit at the Audubon Zoo to see Spots, a huge white alligator with blue eyes. The zookeeper said that he isn't an albino alligator because if he were, his eyes would be pink. Weird. In the 1980s, alligators in Louisiana almost disappeared because of hunters and predators. So a team of researchers took alligator babies from the wild and raised them in special ponds in a marsh where they were safe. They planned to release them back into the wild when the gators grew up. When the researchers went to check on the gator nests in the marsh, they found that 18 white baby alligators had hatched in one nest. Spots is one of those. If you see a white alligator in any other zoo, it's probably one of Spot's cousins. Love, Paul. On the second day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 2 baby gators and a pelican in a cypress tree. Pretty cool. December 28th. Dear Mom and Dad, Rosalie gave me 3 quacking marsh ducks today. We all went with the White Kitchen Eagle Preserve where a boardwalk leads from the highway right into the marsh. Uncle Joe said that the marshes and other waterways have really begun to recover from the damage caused by Hurricane Katrina. Rosalie brought her binoculars and I spotted 2 bald eagles. Winter is the best time to see them since they're here to mate and raise their babies. There were lots and lots of birds flying over the marsh. Uncle Joe says ducks and songbirds from all over the country migrate south to Louisiana in the winter. Some of the birds are on their way to Central and South America. They use the marshes as their rest stop so they can get plenty to eat before they fly all that way. There are many other critters in the marsh too. We saw an otter, some turtles, and a big frog. Love, Paul. So on the third day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. December 29th. Dear Mom and Dad, today I saw the Mississippi River for the very first time. I even took a cruise on a big old riverboat. I heard the captain say that the river is more than 2,000 miles long, starting in Wisconsin and ending here at the Gulf of Mexico. I raced Rosalie to the upper deck to get a good view of the huge oil tankers, barges, and little tugboats. Uncle Joe told us that the New Orleans is a major city port. The port was as busy as a highway. I also learned that all Louisiana used to belong to France. but in 1803 it was sold to the Americans as part of the Louisiana Purchase. If that hadn't happened, everyone would be speaking French down here. Love, Paul. P.S. Out on the Mississippi River, I felt like Huckleberry Finn. So on the fourth day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. December 30th. Dear Mom and Dad, in Jackson Square we listened to an amazing jazz band. Uncle Joe kept saying, "Those cats are swinging." They led us down Esplanade, second line dancing and high-stepping all the way to the Louisiana State Museum and Historical Jazz Collection. We got to see lots of cool photos and musical instruments. Rosalie even picked out some recordings by famous musicians for me to hear. Louis Armstrong, Jelly Roll Morton, and Joe King Oliver. Those cats were swinging too. In the mid-1890s, there were 3 kinds of music being played in New Orleans. Swinging ragtime came from the Midwest, and African Americans brought blues and gospel music from the Mississippi Delta. African American and Creole musicians played together and mixed all that music to make something brand new called jazz. When I get home, I want to learn how to play the trumpet. Love, Paul. So on the 5th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. December 31st. Dear Mom and Dad, today we went on a ghost hunt at one of the most haunted of all haunted houses, the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville. Rosalie spotted 6 ghosts. Boo! A lot of people used to work in the cotton fields around the big fancy house. The mansion was so cool and really old. It was built in 1796. One rumor says that it was built on top of an ancient Native American burial ground, and that's why it's so haunted. Also, lots of people died here of yellow fever, and the tour guide said that their ghosts and many others are still haunting the grounds. There's even one ghost of a girl who shows up right before thunderstorms. Spooky. Tonight we're going back to Jackson Square in New Orleans for the New Year's Eve party. Rosalie says there will be lots of music and the countdown to midnight. Then we'll watch the fireworks over the Mississippi. Happy New Year. Love, Paul. On the 6th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 6 ghosts a-spooking, 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. January 1st. Dear Mom and Dad, Rosalie gave me a map today with the red X's where 7 of Jean Lafitte's buried treasures might be. Uncle Joe says that there could be millions of dollars in gold and silver buried in the Barataria Bay. Wouldn't it be great if Jean Lafitte could show Rosalie and me where he hid his treasure? Remember when I did my class project on the Battle of New Orleans that ended the War of 1812? Well, today we walked across the Chalmette battlefield where it took place. In 1814, when the British were planning to attack America, they offered Jean Lafitte a full pardon for his attack on British ships if he would help them. They knew he had lots of men, boats, guns, and ammunition. Jean Lafitte decided to help the Americans instead. With his help, America won the battle and saved New Orleans. Hooray for Jean Lafitte. Love, Paul. On the 7th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 7 secret treasures, 6 ghosts a spooking, 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. Oh, I'll have a look at Jean Lafitte. January 2nd. Dear Mom and Dad, Rosalie gave me 8 bottles of Louisiana hot sauce, and wow, is it hot. Today we went to Avery Island to tour the Tabasco factory. That's where the world-famous hot pepper sauce with a special smoky flavor is made. We saw the white oak barrels where the sauce is aged before it's bottled and shipped. It smelled so good in there, but when I tasted some of the hot sauce, I felt like my tongue was on fire. At that factory, I learned that both Cajun and Creole cooking use hot pepper sauce. They are both based on French cooking. Uncle Joe says Cajun was country cooking and Creole was New Orleans city food, but they are combined so often these days that they can both be called South Louisiana cooking. I don't care what it's called as long as I get to eat it. Love, Paul. On the 8th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 8 bottles of hot sauce, 7 secret treasures, 6 ghosts of spooking, 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. January 3rd. Dear Mom and Dad, Today, Rosalie and I went to Breaux Bridge, the crawfish capital of the world. I got to learn all about Cajun culture and cuisine. The original Cajuns were French settlers who showed up in eastern Canada in 1604. When Britain took control of the area, the settlers were forced south and slowly made their way down to Louisiana. In the early years, Cajuns were mostly farmers, trappers, and fishermen, but now they work in all sorts of jobs. The Cajun language is a special kind of French spoken in parts of Louisiana known as Acadiana. I love the way it sounds. Louisiana is famous for its spicy Cajun food and music, and Rosalie says that Louisianans really know how to have fun. There's a Jazz Fest in New Orleans, and every September Lafayette holds the Festival Acadien, where people can dance to all kinds of music and eat delicious Cajun food. Laissez les bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. Love, Paul. On the 9th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 9 Cajun crawfish, 8 bottles of hot sauce, 7 secret treasures, 6 ghosts of spooking, 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. January 4th. Dear Mom and Dad, this morning Rosalie sent 10 frogs jumping across the breakfast table. She told me we need to start training them for the frog jumping contest at the Rain Frog Festival in September. Here are the rules my froggies have to follow. 1. They must measure at least 4 inches from nose to tail and must be bullfrogs, toads, or spring frogs. 2. All frogs must have a name. And 3. You can't feed any hot sauce to your frog to make it jump farther, and you definitely can't feed rice to your opponent's frog to slow it down. 4. You can't touch your frog once the race starts, but you can shout at it, blow on it, and jump up and down to cheer it on. 5. Each frog gets only 3 jumps. And 6. There are several races, and the frog that jumps the farthest overall is the winner of the whole festival. I bet my frogs are going to win. Love, Paul. So on the 10th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 10 frogs a-leaping, 9 Cajun crawfish, 8 bottles of hot sauce, 7 secret treasures, 6 ghosts of spooking, 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. January 5th. Dear Mom and Dad, did you know that the honeybee is the state insect of Louisiana? This morning we went to the French Quarter to sample some of that sweet Louisiana honey on our beignets. They're like puffy donuts without a hole and sometimes are covered with powdered sugar. Then Uncle Joe took us fishing in Venice, the last city before the Mississippi River lets out into the Gulf of Mexico. Venice is in Plaquemine Parish. Counties in Louisiana are called parishes. Louisiana is the only state that calls them that. Our fishing guide took us through the marsh near Venice and said it was the best place to find speckled trout in the winter. He was right. We caught our limit of redfish and trout and filled Uncle Joe's cooler to the top. When we got home tonight, Uncle Joe cooked our fish on the grill. He promises that in the morning he'll make pancakes for us. I'm going to drown mine in more Louisiana honey. Love, Paul. On the 11th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 11 bees a-buzzing, 10 frogs a-leaping, 9 Cajun crawfish, 8 bottles of hot sauce, 7 secret treasures, 6 ghosts of spooking, 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. January 6th. Dear Mom and Dad, Rosalie gave me 12 strands of the coolest, most sparkly beads to celebrate Twelfth Night, the beginning of Carnival. It sounds like Twelfth Night is as big a celebration as Mardi Gras. I can't wait. Today's the first day you can buy a king cake. It's shaped like a puffy wreath with lots of green, gold, and purple icing. Inside every cake is a tiny pink plastic baby. Rosalie got the toy baby in her slice, so it was her turn to buy the next king cake. Tonight we're going to see the Funny 40 Fellows, a group of friends in costume whose streetcar ride officially starts Carnival each year. They throw the first bees to the crowd, and I'm going to catch some. Rosalie says the magic words are, "Throw me something, mister." I'm sad to be leaving tomorrow, but I'll be bringing Carnival home with me. Love, Paul. On the 12th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 12 strands of sparkles, 11 bees a-buzzing, 10 frogs a-leaping, 9 Cajun crawfish, 8 bottles of hot sauce, 7 secret treasures, 6 ghosts of spooking, 5 golden horns, 4 river boats, 3 marsh ducks, 2 baby gators, and a pelican in a cypress tree. There is a picture. And this is the final image on the back of the book. Come back soon again. And that concludes the 12 days of Christmas in Louisiana. Happy holidays, y'all. Have a good night.